Even though when we go to a car accident, it's friends, it's neighbors possibly. For the most part, it's not our family and directly related. It's almost like if you got to a bad car wreck and it was your family in the car wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right.
How would you deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
this was like one giant car wreck.
Yeah.
That was in front of us that had to be taken care of, and
With family members.
with family members.
In there.
And
Yeah.
as I said later, it didn't really strike me as being important at the time, but I knew she was okay right then because she was texting me. She texted me at 7:38 and at 7:51. So I knew, okay, Emily's all right. I can kind of focus on what I have to do here. In the back of my head, I didn't think that Larry is coming from his job. He's got a son in that school. Craig Vaddy, who was inside triaging patients, had a son in the cafeteria that morning. Didn't know where he was. One of our lieutenants has two daughters in the school. He didn't know where they were. I ended up
Who is that?
Scott Meyer.
Scott Meyer.
I ended up sending him up to the landing zone to help Kirtland with the landing zone and the helicopters, and he was very instrumental in that. I didn't think at the time he probably should have been at the school helping me because he would have been able to be closer to where his kids were. And those things, when you're so focused on what you're doing, those things don't go through your head. And you realize later that, man, I should have done something a little different. But when we went back into school with Emily that Thursday, I talked to a number of the teachers and I said, as a parent first, I have to thank you. It's just that was my focus that day, was not as a fire officer, it was as a parent and with a student in the school. I said, thank you. You did right. Everybody has a different feeling and a different stress level or a different something that'll trigger a different response. I know, and I don't know for myself. We need to get back to business as usual. It's let's do the routine fire or whatever we do. And we need to move forward. And I don't like to dwell on the past or dwell on the bad things that have happened. I think there's at some point there will be a lot of learning to be taken away from what happened, as far as procedurals in the schools and within our department and everything. But I think really what we did showed how well what is established works for us. And, this is nothing new as far as our end of the operation. We've done Mavis alarms and squad boxes and command systems since day one, and it's always worked out well for us. And you fall back on what you're trained to do. Afterwards, we have time to think about it, and that's when we have problems. We reflect on it, and everybody second guesses themselves. They say, what could I have done different? What could I have done better? And there's 99.9% of the time nothing that you could have done better or different that would have made any difference in an outcome. But it's human nature to do that. I listened to the audio from somebody had recorded off radio reference our radio traffic and downloaded to YouTube, and somebody posted on my Facebook, and I listened to it that evening, and I sat down. I couldn't stand up. It was eerie how calm and professional and
smooth it went.
Everything just clicked, and just knowing what everybody had in their mind that day, and just the potential for panic was so great, and nobody did, and it's still surreal. The kids weren't screaming, the teachers were calm. They were filing those kids out in groups of 10. They were coming through the door single file, just as calm as could be, right down the sidewalk to Maple Elementary.
I got a call from the Cleveland Fire Department. They're actually going to use our radio traffic to train 17 brand new fire lieutenants.
Wow.
And then the Brush High School is going to they're going to do a drill this year, and they're going to use our radio traffic to train the dispatchers on how everything was done as well. So a lot of good things have come out of bad.
Right.
Okay. Not only the community, but with the fire and rescue service too.
I spoke with Ron Terraco, who's the deputy chief in Concord, and he does a lot of work with other fire chiefs, and he received a call from the former fire chief of Columbine, and he mentioned how well it went for us, and He said if we ever needed to talk to him about anything, we were welcome to call him. But he said we did a great job, and you know, the combine was the model that kind of set the standard for this, and everybody's learned from it.